So I have a bone to pick with everyone. Um, have you guys ever found it hard or difficult to speak to somebody that you're close to or you're in an intimate relationship with? Like, this is something that I'm having difficulty with. Like, me and my boyfriend, we've been together for about a year and a half now, and I haven't ever been comfortable opening up about certain things that happen to me or arguments I might get into, or just being completely vulnerable, because at times that I have tried, I felt judged or misunderstood, and I felt like it's something that he didn't make an effort to listen. And we always argue about that. It's because I feel dismissed or not, like there's no effort in trying to understand what I'm trying to say. For example, yesterday I was, I guess you could say, assaulted. I hate labeling things, and it's a place where I was uncomfortable. When I got back home, automatically my boyfriend started to say I embarrassed him, and that wasn't my intention. My point was to make sure that he was safe and not to say anything that might trigger this person that I'm talking about in particular. And instead, we argued about how much I humiliated him, instead of me talking about what had happened to me. And today I kind of made a comment about it and said, this is the reason why I'm not comfortable telling you about certain things, because you don't listen to me. Yesterday I was already being attacked, so why would I open up to you? It's very hard for me to tell somebody like, hey, this happened to me, especially if you're already blaming me for something that I wasn't doing in my eyes, or that I didn't need to do. Like, I feel like our gestures, our body language, the way we speak, and our tone tells me whether or not I can talk to you. It tells me whether or not I can be open with you or vulnerable with you. If you're standoffish, attacking, or aggressive, I'm not going to want to open up to you because I can't feel comfortable. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand, but we have to be welcoming, like how your body stands, everything. It tells me whether or not I can open up to you. It tells me whether or not I'm safe with you. So I'm not going to want to talk about things that I feel is my fault already to you, because I'm going to feel attacked. And usually when we go to somebody, we want to get their comfort. We want the truth, of course, if we're in the wrong, but we still want to. Picking up where I left off, we want the truth from our partners. We want them to be, transparent with us, just as we're going to try to be transparent with them. But there's a way to be truthful. I would rather you tell me I was a bad person or crappy person versus pretending I was a kind person. But yesterday's situation was that this person that we were talking to is somebody who has been a part of people that have made threats to my boyfriend, and we were asking for a favor, and we were trying to explain to them that some of the things that he's heard are false. And he asked to speak to me alone in private, and I didn't say anything. I didn't stop it. Neither did Johnny, and so he walked away. After that, the guy tried to hit on me, made some inappropriate moves and comments, and I tried to get away as soon as possible. I went into the elevator, and then he stopped the elevator and then asked for my number, and I picked up the phone as I noticed my boyfriend was calling me, and as I picked up the phone, I gave him the number. So I made sure that Johnny knew what was going on while it was happening, because he was on the phone. I come downstairs, and automatically I humiliated him. I should have said something. One, I'm not the person to be confrontational. I never have been, and so I wasn't going to dismiss this guy. I noticed he had a gun on him, a handgun, and so I wasn't gonna be like, well, I can't talk to you, or let him feel uncomfortable at all in any kind of way, only because he had a weapon. So I didn't get to tell Johnny that, because automatically when I came home, it was you humiliated me, you embarrassed me, Um, all these people think of you, they see you as a tramp, and all this just not so nice things, and it just ended our night very badly. And automatically, my response to him was like, maybe you think of me as a tramp, but maybe you're just projecting and saying what you think of me instead of you're projecting what you think of me. That's not what people see. And honestly, I'm not the type of person who wants to hear what people think of me if it's negative, because if it's negative, it's just gonna put my emotions down, my day. It's gonna bring me down, and I'm not gonna do anything about it. So I don't need to know it. If somebody really thinks that negative of me, they can come and say it to my face if they want to. If they're not saying it to my face, then I really don't need to hear it secondhand. And so instead of telling him what happened to me, I was already feeling attacked. I mean, I already thought if I said something, he would blame it to me, on me, say it's my fault, or that's what I get. And now he's upset today because I didn't. Now he's upset because I didn't talk to him about it. But I mean, how can you blame me for not talking to me about it? You were calling me a tramp to what it seemed like it was being said, and you're saying I humiliated you on purpose without even asking me why I didn't say anything, or why I didn't like say no to talking to the guy by myself. Why I didn't basically tell him like, no, I can't do that. The same question can be asked of him. Why did you say no? I'm sorry, me and my lady are leaving, or something, especially knowing how I am. Truth is, like I said, I'm not confrontational, so I'm not going to be comfortable enough to, protest against somebody who obviously has a handgun in his pockets. And when I told him how I felt today, just after dinner, his response is, "Wow, I must be a jackass. Wow, you must think of me as a piece of shit. I'm a real piece of shit." And he's like, "My girlfriend thinks of me as a piece of shit. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, you can't talk to me." And he's walked to the bathroom, and he's staying there because he's upset I said I couldn't speak to him. I'm not even sure who's in the wrong right now, or if just people's feelings are getting in the way. I don't know. I really haven't told him the full story, other than I was assaulted or harassed, and he's more concentrated on the fact that I didn't talk to him about it than yesterday, and that I see him as a piece of shit, which none of those things were said by me. I did not tell him I think he's a piece of shit. I just said I wasn't comfortable enough to talk to him about it yesterday because there was already something being discussed, and I was already being blamed or accused of humiliating. How does one start talking about what happened to them when that's being talked about? How does one interject and say, well, excuse me, this happened to me, so fuck your feelings? Because that's what it would be like. At least that's how I saw it then. It's just, it shouldn't be this hard to communicate with people. It should not be this frustrating. It should not be this stressful. It's like pulling teeth. Sometimes I don't even know when a conversation went south, but it just did. And it happens a lot with us. And I don't know if it's a communication barrier, or if there's too many people we're both too sensitive, or so like I said, I don't know if it's a communication barrier, we're not listening to each other, or we're just not mixing, because part of communicating is listening. And I'm, other than saying that I felt like yesterday I couldn't communicate with you and tell you that something had happened to me, those are the only things that I've said about yesterday, and it's automatic. I'm thinking of him as a piece of shit, and he's walked away, and he's been in there for 30 minutes. Do you blame me for not being able to talk to you? Because what just happened? I mean, I just told you how something made me feel, how I was feeling yesterday. And your response is that you're a piece of shit, and that's how I see you, and you don't know how to feel about how I see you as a piece of shit, which I didn't call him a piece of shit. Now, I feel stupid for even bringing it up, because it didn't solve anything except for add more stress for the night and make things awkward, as usual. No one's gonna be happy now as we get ready for bed. I mean, it's one of those things where this happens a lot. And I have to say, it's starting to become to the point where I'm okay with being alone. I'm okay with having distance. He can go back to his apartment. I can be in my apartment doing our own thing, because if we can't talk to each other, then we shouldn't really try to spend too much time, because we're going to stress each other out for no reason. I mean, I know any other solution. I've tried the whole communicating, talking, writing things. Sometimes texting is better. I don't like texting. I would rather communicate with you face to face. But that seems to work for me and him, so maybe that's what we need to stick to. Because this is not working. The whole walking away after I've told you something that really took me a long time to tell you, just shows like I can't trust you. I can't be vulnerable with you. You just proved my point. So I don't know. Anyways, hopefully everybody has a good night, and maybe we can find some solutions. If not, keep on living the good life. Hopefully you find somebody who can listen and understand you, because I don't even understand myself sometimes, or try to understand you. That's what matters, if they try. Because if they're trying, then you know they're making the effort, and they'll get it right one day. Good night.